Just talk to me a little bit about these warnings, because as you've mentioned before, there's an internet blackout inside Iran. So how do people actually get these warnings? And when they get these warnings, where can Iranians in places like Tehran and Tabriz actually go?
So that's the key point. They don't get these messages because Iran, the internet in Iran has been shut off for 15 days right now since the war broke out. And Iranians, that's one of the main complaints that we receive, is that they are furious that they don't have access to the internet. So Israelis, when they publish these evacuation orders, especially on social media, most Iranians do not have access to that. That's the first problem. The other problem, Iranians, the ones we've been talking to, they've been saying that this regime has been beating the drums of war for 5 decades, chanting death to Israel, death to America for 5 decades. And now that the war has broken out, they failed to prepare for this, because unlike Israelis, that they receive a warning on their phones, they hear sirens and they run to shelters, Iranians lack all of that. They do not have access to any of this. There are no sirens, there are no warnings, and there are no shelters to run to. When I was a child during the Iran-Iraq war, I remember that on TV they aired some kind of siren asking people to go to shelter. But even after 3-4 decades, they still don't have that this day. So many Iranians are furious about that, and they are saying the other thing that they are angry about and they're really worried about is that the infrastructures might be targeted soon if the war does not stop. And the other thing is they're worried that after this war and after all this bombardment, the regime is still in place. One of them told me that it's tragic that a nation is afraid and is scared of the end of the war at the same time that is scared of the continuation of the war.
Yes, it's a difficult, kind of complex idea to get across to people who don't know what is happening inside Iran and don't understand the psyche of Iranians. So it's really helpful to hear it from you, Parham. Let's talk a little bit now about Kharg Island, because as I mentioned at the top of the show, the US president has said that the US military has obliterated the military bases there. Just explain to viewers watching this how important Kharg Island is for the oil industry in Iran. It's not just a military stronghold. It actually is responsible for so much of Iran's oil exports.
Even beyond that, it's Iran's economic lifeline. So Iran owns 10%, has 10% of world's oil reserves. Now, 90 to 95% of that oil is exported from this hub, from this island, from Kharg Island. So there's an oil terminal that is designated for this. So if it is targeted, the oil infrastructure there is targeted, that means it will not only destroy Iran's oil export, but it also will cripple Iranian economy, because unlike countries like United Arab Emirates, that, for example, Dubai is a business hub, apart from their oil and gas export, or from, like, for example, Saudi Arabia, that has tourism, pilgrimage, and has some other sources of income, Iran does not have. Iran's economy mainly relies on its oil export and its oil revenue. So if Donald Trump decides, as he has threatened, to target that oil infrastructure, that will cripple Iranian economy. Or Donald Trump might as well. That is the big question. He is bringing 5,000 Marines to the Middle East. Will he be using them to station them and occupy this island to cripple Iranian economy, to make them surrender? However, their oil infrastructure has not been attacked. Iranian Fars news agency, close to the Revolutionary Guards, confirmed the report that the military bases there were attacked, like air defense system, naval base, airport control tower, and an offshore helicopter hangar have been targeted and destroyed. But the oil infrastructure is still in place. And if that is targeted, it will not only hurt Iranians, but it will hurt Chinese as well, because China is the main consumer of Iranian oil.
Really interesting to get an insight into the other side of Kharg Island, the non-military side. Parham, let me just ask you one more quick question. I've just been seeing in the last few minutes that we've heard from Hamas. And Hamas has given a statement, and in this statement, the organisation, which of course is backed by Iran, has urged Iran to stop firing missiles and drones at neighbouring Arab Gulf states in response to these attacks. The Palestinian group has obviously been involved in a war with Israel. It said basically that it wants Iran to stop firing at its Gulf neighbours. Now, it's clear, isn't it, that Hamas has important backers amongst those Gulf nations too. But given the fact that just a couple of days ago, the new supreme leader apparently, in his statement, thanked the supporters of the Iranian regime, including Hamas and Hezbollah and the Houthis, this is a very strange turn of events.
That's exactly correct. So this is one of the most interesting developments in the past few hours, that Hamas, as you mentioned, is a close ally and is one of the groups that Iran has invested a lot of money and resources into this group. And now they're saying, they're asking Iran to stop attacking their neighbors. So the thing is that let's not forget that all of this started after October 7th, after October 7th, when Hamas invaded Israel. So, and Iranians, although they say that, they claim that they were not aware of the attack and they were not, hinted about the attack, but they supported it. Ali Khamenei, the late supreme leader of Iran, said that I kissed the shoulders of my brothers in Hamas who carried out such an attack. And now it appears that they're not receiving the same support from Hamas.
Parham, thank you very much indeed for that. Parham Ghobadi from BBC Persian there.